Imagine a plane is hijacked in mid-air. A superhero takes on the hijackers and helps land the plane safely. On landing, this superhero is arrested only because he looks different. This fictional sequence is extracted from a comic book, but unfortunately, people are judged based on their looks.
Violently takes him down, then cuffs him for a crime that he did not commit.
Hi, I'm Harleen Singh, the director of Suis Superhero. As a woman, I have been stereotyped quite often. I always wondered, how can anyone make these weird assumptions without even knowing me? Even the superheroes we look up to are not immune to stereotyping. They are mostly shown as cape-wearing Anglo-American males with superhuman powers and often depict women in minor roles. Although our society has evolved, these stereotypes of superheroes and many others have stubbornly persisted. Suis Superhero is a bold attempt at weaving the stories of three unique artists who are breaking stereotypes. With a backdrop of comic books and cartoons, the film challenges generalizations based on race, gender, and appearance. Harleen Kaur is a creator of action-based comics. She challenges the notion of gender stereotypes in a male-dominated world of comic books and superheroes. We explore whether her characters can create their own space among stereotypical superheroes. Keith Knight is a rare African-American cartoonist. His cartoons regularly show stories from his own life. The film takes the audience through Keith's experience and observation of stereotypes that nurture racism and bias in our society. Through his portrayal as Captain America, Vishwajit Singh challenges the appearance of a superhero. Armed with a beard and a sense of humor, he is spreading the message of tolerance, especially towards people who stand out in a crowd simply because they look different. Yes, everyone can be a superhero. But here's the thing. Superheroes are not based on their looks, they are based on their actions. Given the global happenings and the media's role in perpetuating stereotypes, this deconstruction requires a superheroic effort. That is why I'm reaching out to you to help me make this film a reality. Suis Superhero showcases the power of cartoons and comics to alter perceptions and create change in our society. It promises to be a roller coaster that is intimate, inspiring, and socially relevant. Come join me in making this film a reality.
Hey everybody, please support Suis Superhero. If there's any time to tell this story, it's right now.
Only you can make this campaign happen. Please support.
We're all superheroes. Come on, get off your couch, support this campaign. Heart and soul, right into it. Make it happen.
So I need you to kick in, just like I'm kicking in, and making this story happen. Thanks.
Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Welcome to the Sikh channel and thank you for tuning in. And today we are sitting on the grounds of San Jose Gurdwara here in beautiful California, and I have with me a budding filmmaker who's just launched a new project that we're going to be talking to her about, and how you can get involved in helping produce this wonderful documentary. So I'd like to introduce Harleen Kaur. Harleen Kaur, Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
So thank you for joining us. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us a little bit about your background and where you're from.
I belong to India. My father was in the Indian Army, so grew up pretty much across India. And then started my career with National Geographic Channel and History Channel, and I was managing content, a few documentary creations and marketing for them. And that's where the bug of filmmaking really bit me. And from there on, I decided that, I should do something in this line. But I joined the corporate line, got into marketing full-time. And there was a point in my life where I joined United Nations Association Film Festival as a jury member. And while I was there, over a few years, I saw thousands of documentaries. They were wonderful, fascinating documentaries, but none of them were Sikhs. There was no Sikh protagonist in them. And that's where I thought, there's something that we need to tell. And if we don't tell our own stories, nobody else will.
What inspired the creation of Kaur films?
I think what really inspires me is storytelling. There are lots of stories that are around us waiting to be told. So that's what the genesis of Kaur films was. But the real thing really started when I was in National Geographic Channel and History Channel, and I saw a lot of documentaries. So that influenced me that there's something that I want to do in this space. But the years later, when I joined UNAF, which is United Nations Association Film Festival, as a jury member, and I saw thousands of films, and I saw there were none that had a Sikh protagonist. And that's something that shook me, and I was like, my God, if I don't do it, nobody else will. So I need to actually create something and show these stories out there with Sikh protagonists, but also these are stories which are mainstream. So that's what the goal of Kaur films is, to create, inspire people to make films.
Okay, and how does Sikhi inspire your work?
I think Sikhi inspires me at all levels. It makes me a very positive person to tell these positive stories. It makes me nirvair. And what really inspires me is that our forefathers, our gurus, thought about these things years and centuries ago about equality and stuff like that, which today would sound something which is unbelievable. And so every aspect of Sikhi inspires me to do better, to do my best actually.
And how did the idea about this film, this documentary in particular, come about?
I think this particular film, Suis Superhero, it's all about stereotyping and challenging stereotypes. What really happens with us is that when we see something, we get influenced, right? So if our kids actually see a character which actually can do something, they get inspired that, hey, if that person can do it, I can do it too. And the real story is I am superhero too, because we all do some great deeds. So we really don't need a cape to actually validate that we are a superhero. Anybody who does good deeds, who helps people, is a superhero. And that's what we really want to showcase through this film, that don't stereotype people, challenge it. Because the idea is we should not bucket people just based on their looks. We should look at them and see their actions and then make an informed decision, which I guess most of us don't do it.
Yeah, unfortunately not. So tell us a little bit more about the content of the film.
The film actually has three main protagonists, and on the face of it, Vishwajit, Eileen and Keith might just be three different people which have nothing in common. They look different, they have different challenges, but as we peel the story off, you see that all of them were stereotyped. All of them have a common link of cartoons and comic creations, and all of them have challenged stereotypes in both their personal and professional life. So the story is very intriguing. It talks about a very, very serious subject of racism and stereotyping, but in a slightly a lighter tone, which is filled with humor in a way, but also has real life stories that can inspire people.
Okay, and what's your goal for this film? What is it that you plan to accomplish?
The goal of the film is to actually stir a conversation, and the conversation has frankly already begun, because we are on Kickstarter and there's so many people already supporting us. There's so many Sikh organizations that are supporting us. So the conversation has already begun. What we want to do is carry forward and ensure that more and more people get educated about stereotyping and the pitfalls of it. And later, hopefully there is a bigger dialogue about it, and people feel that, you know what, we need to look beyond the appearance, we need to look beyond the gender, we need to look beyond the color of the skin, we need to look at the actual person itself. And if that can happen, that's what our accomplishment is with the film.
Okay, and in your film you have three main characters. Can you tell us a little bit about them and what drew you to the idea of these three characters?
So what drew me to this whole subject was Stereotyping, bullying, racism, these are things that are around us. We hear it in the newspapers, in the media on a daily basis. I wanted to do something about it. And I didn't really want to take the serious subject and make an even serious film. I wanted to take the serious subject and, cut across a lot of generations, a lot of people across the world face it. So I wanted to reach all that audience. How do you do that? Need some commonality. And when I looked around and I saw these superheroes, they were all stereotypical. And that's what the genesis of the film was. And from there we saw as to how we can use that, or how we can keep that as a backdrop and then reach out to people. And Keith, Vish and Eileen fit perfectly because all three of them are comic creators. All three of them have challenged stereotypes in their personal and professional life. And all three of them exhibit things that people look up to and inspire to. So it was really nice. Vishwajit, in particular, he wears the Captain America uniform and actually stirs conversations when he goes, because people look at him and they're like, how can a superhero look like that? But then once you peel a layer further and you realize that, you know what, superheroes is not something external, it's actually internal. Eileen created Super Sikh comics, and not just that, as a woman she faced a lot of stereotypes. So her story is unique in a way. Keith Knight actually is an African American, and he brings another unique aspect of racism, and he has been doing this for almost 20 years, using humor to bring attention to racism. So beautiful people, and they have stories which are amazing, and you'd love the story together when you see in the documentary.
Okay, and the documentary, you're trying to raise funds via Kickstarter. Can you tell us a little bit more about what Kickstarter is and a little bit more about the project?
Kickstarter is a crowdfunding platform. It's a website where you go there and you can find different projects that interest you. And when you go onto a project, you can actually fund it. There are various rewards associated with each and every level of funding. So in our case, we have a Kickstarter page. Just type in Suis Superhero on Kickstarter. That's spelled as K-I-C-K. And you go there and you can find the whole image of the film, what the film is about, the different characters, and different rewards associated. So if you contribute $1, you get certain things, $5 is something else, and so on and so forth. They are really exciting, amazing, exclusive rewards that we've specially created for our audience. The thing with Kickstarter is that you have to put in a lower number as your initial goal because it's an all or nothing, which means that if you don't reach your first goal, you don't get any amount. So we put in $12,000 as our initial goal, but the actual ask is $65,000. So we need $65,000 to actually make a world-class film and also market and distribute it. So people listening to this channel, will request all of them to just go on to Kickstarter or go on to kaurfilms.com and contribute. No amount is big or small, and even $1 counts. So if they can contribute, that would just be wonderful for us.
Okay, so you actually need about 4 or 5 times more than you've currently got on Kickstarter campaign. So hopefully everybody watching will go and at least even donate $1, even $1 would be great to be able to reach your goals. And let's have this documentary shown all over the different film festivals that happen and really get it at a world-class level. And really, in America, especially since 9/11, we have had the need to show our identity, to educate others, non-Sikhs, about who the Sikhs are, because there is a big gap in terms of education here when it comes to the Sikh identity. So thank you so much, Harleen, for helping to fill that gap, and hoping that your Kickstarter campaign goes much more successfully, and that we hope to see it on the big screens very soon. So thank you again for joining us on Sikh Channel at the Sikh Gurdwara San Jose, sitting in the car park here. Really appreciate you taking the time out to speak to us, and hopefully once it's all done, hopefully once it's all gone through the different circuits of showing them in film festivals and so forth, we'll be able to also premiere it exclusively on Sikh Channel as well. So thank you very much. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.